Welcome back to the Stockwell Roche Show. Yes, that is awesome. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh Roche, Remax Results.
We have Matty B.
Thank you for having me.
And Don Doty and Ben Nelson in studio. And Don Doty was introducing himself prior to the break there about his experience, credentials, which he challenges you listening.
Well, it's
or
great
anybody there.
because Don's brought in a book.
Yeah, and he's got a
published,
book.
So he's got a lot of credentials. Actually,
He's challenged you if you find another inspector in the entire United States that has more credentials and certifications than him, he will do your inspection for free. So there's some homework for some of you out there because some of you might take him up on that challenge. But also, I don't know any inspectors, and maybe there are others, but I don't know anybody personally that have a book, as Josh said.
Published book.
He has a published book, The Ultimate Homeowner's Guide. So this would be good for probably anybody, Don, not just someone going to buy a house or sell a house, but just for anybody, right?
Right.
Yeah, that book I give to all my customers that I do a buyer inspection for, and or you can go buy that on Amazon.
Cool.
Okay.
It's great, and it goes over some things that are good to know because if you see something in your house that's wrong, you can go to the book, or it's a resource for you to go through, and that's what it's all about: is having someone knowledgeable, experienced, that's seen a lot of things. I always tell people when I go to meet them at their house to sell their house, experience matters.
Yeah.
And every time you sell a house, you learn something because every house is different, every client is different, and it's unique. So you learn something in that process, and the more times you've done that, the more you have the experience to watch out or to foresee something happening or going wrong, and you can actually fix it, and you've been through it before. So that's something that inspector world, I'm sure, happens all the time because I tell you, that is mortgages are heavily regulated, Matty B, right?
Yes, they are.
Heavily regulated.
Heavily
that's
regulated.
an understatement. I don't even know. They're regulated.
But it's a good thing.
It is. It is. It's a very good thing. It's actually weeded out a lot of people that shouldn't be doing what I do.
Real estate agents, we're regulated. Maybe not as heavy as mortgage, some people say, but I think
regulated?
we're regulated really heavily.
Yep.
Ben Nelson, how are you have to have a license, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're regulated very tightly.
And regulated
on
for homeowners insurance.
homeowners insurance, property and casualty, and what's even tighter is life insurance side of things because it's more financial.
So you are required in Minnesota to have a license to sell insurance.
Yeah, if you don't have a license in the state of Minnesota, you can't even talk prices with customers.
For insurance, to be an
Yep.
insurance
And that
agent.
goes along
Josh,
with,
myself have to be
Yep.
licensed to sell real estate. Matty B, you have to be licensed.
I have to be licensed.
Don, do inspectors, this is a key question, folks. You may not know this out there listening. One of the most critical parts of your home purchase, Don, are inspectors in Minnesota required to be licensed?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
You know,
Are you kidding
That's
me?
scary.
Anybody can.
I'm making a business card for $25, and
I can
I am
go inspect
becoming
the
an
home.
inspector.
If you can breathe in a mirror and fog it, you can be one in
Wow.
this state.
Wow.
That's
Yikes.
scary. That's really spooky.
So you don't even have to know about how a house may be built or what an AC system furnace, different types of furnace,
Nothing.
heating systems, window installation, nothing.
Your 10-year-old kid could be one if you can convince people to call you. So that's what's scary about our industry is anybody can be a home inspector.
Well,
now,
looking at your brochure with all your accreditations, then it's like this is somebody who actually decided that I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this the absolute best.
It's not even required, and you're licensed, or you're not licensed, I should say, but you're.
I am licensed.
Oh, you are licensed. Okay.
Yeah, I'm licensed.
Oh, it's not required, but you can get licensed.
Yeah, I am licensed, and I'm also a certified, and that's really tough to do. And someday I'll explain how to get certified.
Wow.
Because people throw that name around, oh, I'm certified. Well, to be really a certified inspector, after I explain what it is, you're not certified.
So if you're listening out there and you're going to sell your home, buy your home, or you know someone who is, and they're working with a licensed realtor, they're working with a licensed mortgage officer, they're getting a homeowner's quote and maybe some other quotes for other insurance from a licensed insurance agent, and then they go and say, I'm buying this house and I'm mortgaging $400,000 or $300,000 or $200,000 or whatever number it is. It's a large number. And you know what? I don't want to pay, that $400 or $500 or whatever the cost is. I'm going to save that. And I think Uncle Bill,
Uncle Bill,
he knows a lot. Let's have Uncle Bill do our house inspection, just to make sure everything's good. Now,
No.
does that make sense, people?
No.
No.
No, it
Absolutely
does not. So you need to have qualified people all the way through the process, because in the business, Maddie B, Josh, myself, Ben, and Don, I'm sure, have seen things happen that from an inspection or from not, no one's perfect and is going to find absolutely everything wrong with a house, but boy, you can tell a lot by going through there thoroughly and looking at all the things. And a lot of inspectors don't, because they don't want to. I don't know. Or they don't know to, maybe. Maybe they don't have the knowledge to, right? Right, Don?
Exactly. So, ask yourself this question: you're going to spend $200, $300, $400 and then you're not going to shop to find the best inspector that you can? Are you kidding me? Why would you want to have your uncle, the contractor, come and look at it? First of all, your uncle hasn't been trained in the soils, the concrete, the structure, the electric, the plumbing, the furnace, the water heater, the roof, the doors, the windows, the siding, the attic. So they have a general knowledge, but we have specific knowledge.
Yep.
And that
That's what I
makes
call
a
my
big
general
difference.
contractor.
So,
And no offense to general contractors. I had my license for a while, and I love a lot of them. And they may take you up on it and say, yes, I'll do it. Or they may even offer to to support and help you. The thing with that is just, it's sometimes best to just have that done by outside professionals instead of having that in. Because imagine that you have your contractor uncle go through, or friend, or whatever go
And then
through.
an issue happens.
And then an issue happens. Now what? Now you're like, oh, you didn't see the crack over on the basement corner foundation that now is leaking? Or I don't know.
Family holidays get weird.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Exactly. So with that, that's a good tie-in, Don.
What have you seen out there?
Yeah. What are some cool? What's some? Start off maybe with some tips for people on what they, what you're seeing, I guess, in the homes, and some tips for the consumers.
as far as, you mean selling the home, what should people do?
Yeah,
'Cause
sure.
We're going to be
Sellers.
writing an article soon for you. Let me just talk to you about a couple of different stories. I've had customers. They'll call me up on the phone and they'll say that they have a coupon, for $50 or something. I always tell them that the coupons are for pizza or dry cleaning. It's got nothing to do with
Don,
me.
I had my eyes done.
Yeah,
LASIK.
Yeah.
I had a coupon.
yeah.
I got lucky.
Yeah. No, as far as home inspection, it's a true art. It really is. I mean, there's a lot of people that think they'd be good at it, carry a clipboard around, a pencil, and a flashlight, and it's an art. It's a true art. That's why I don't have anybody working for me. In 24 years, I've had a few people, but that just hasn't worked out where I trust them.
Oh, yeah. You want to be, because it's your liability. You're on the hook for everything, and you're looking through the home. So shop. One tip right out of the way, takeaway is to shop. Make sure you have the best home inspector, and definitely call Don as one of them. I would go to the website homeplaceinspections.com.
The best thing is just
Right?
Google
Or Google.
Don Doty.
Yep.
Don
Google
Doty, Doty.
Yep, just Google me. And any questions, email me with your questions, or simply call, as Jason stated earlier, my phone number. I'll answer all your questions. Even if I haven't done your inspections, I'll still answer them.
So let's hear a couple stories.
Yeah.
So let's say something's already done. Have you ever come in and had to be the savior after the fact of something happening, or have you ever had to come through after someone already did an inspection? I mean, or anything like that? Do you ever do anything like that?
Usually, the story, when it has something to do with a buyer walking and a seller calls me and says, really, what's wrong with my house? I need to know, because do I have to change my disclosure statement?
Yes.
So
Very
I'll
important.
go in there, just like the other day I did, and the buyer walked away. Seller calls me and says, what's wrong? It was about a 95-year-old house in St. Paul, and we know that all the floors were settling. Okay, so the problem is 95 or 100-year-old house, when it settles, that's typical. Doesn't mean it's gonna, but if it does, it can simply be because of the construction back then. When they used to say they don't build things like they used to. Well, actually, it was a good thing, because we build things better now than they did 100 years ago.
Yep.
So what I find is the inspectors don't have the knowledge and they scare the buyer and say, this is a structurally unsound house. The problem is it's really not. It's just sagging because of the age. The difference between a normal settling and a problem is wood rot. If there's wood rotted posts, if there's wood rotted floor joists or cut floor joists, you can fix all that. But if you don't fix it, that becomes a problem. So all in all, it really needs to be looked at by a professional.
Yes, I love it. That was another good tip. And when we're going to talk on the next segment about new construction, because it's such a hot
Yeah.
segment this year, and it has been last year. I mean, it has actually for the last few years. And the insurance on that Ben will be talking about, and then inspections on those, because a lot of people choose not to do
Not to get an inspection on a new home construction.
Yeah, because they've got all the stuff going through with
The builder, they're protected by the builder.
10-year, 1-year warranties, blah, blah, blah.
And also we'll be talking about the agents and the roles of the agents, and also the process in buying a home when you go through the process to buy a home, so that you as a seller or a buyer, but if you're a seller, you can learn what the buyer's going through and what's going through the buyer's head. And then also as a buyer, what the process is to go through and what to expect when we come back after break here. But we have Maddie B, AMIC.
American Mortgage and Equity Consultants, AMIC.
Yes. I
Yep.
like saying AMIC.
I like AMIC as well.
AMIC
to be
is
honest with you.
easier, so
to
much
remember.
easier.
Ben Nelson, Farmers Insurance, and Don Doty. I'm Jason Stockwell.
Josh Roche.
Both with RE/MAX results. We'll be back soon.
But anytime you want something done, they do. That's what I'm looking for. The ball all night.